going to talk today about reading your schedule. One of the reasons we've been learning about the days of the week and the months of the year is because in your life, you need to be able to know what to expect to do on those days. And so you have to be able to read your schedule. So we're going to talk about our school schedule today. And we're going to start by talking about the different classes that you have. So we're going to talk about each one individually. So the first class you have is math, right? Say it, please. Math. And you have math with Miss Downey. And when you're in math, you know you're dealing with numbers, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, fractions, math. With me, you have English Language Arts. Sometimes it's just called ELA when we're talking about English Language Arts. Miss Baker teaches it too. So Miss Baker and I are the ELA teachers. And this is where we talk about reading and writing. And this is where we talk about analyzing stories and improving our English. Even the kids who were born right here in Brentwood have to work on their grammar and their English skills. Then we have science. Say it, please. Science. Miss Downey will be teaching your science class. Science is things that deal with the world around us. So we have anything that has to do with the earth or the stars or chemicals or physics and weights and balances. That's all science. Then we have our special classes too, like art. And for art, you have Miss Graff. And art is drawing and painting and sculpting and making things beautiful and wonderful. Some days we have gym. Sometimes it's called physical education, or sometimes it's just called PE, short for physical education. For PE or gym, you have Mr. Ohm. And Mr. Ohm teaches you guys about running and jumping and being strong. Then with Mr. Sherman, you have my favorite, which is music. Say it, please. Music. Mr. Sherman teaches you about singing and reading music and different instruments and rhythms and beats. Part of the year, you'll have social studies. Social studies is also known as history and geography and government, and it's learning about how our country works. And Ms. Downey and Ms. Baker will teach that together, I believe, this year. But so it's learning about our presidents. It's learning about how we vote. It's learning about the different states and capitals and parts of our country. Then we have library, and you have Ms. Cosner for library class. Library, we know library is a building where we can go and select books to read that we can borrow and then return. But in school, the library class is where we not only select books to read, but we also learn about different types of books, and we learn about using the internet as good readers. So we are learning about how to evaluate websites and things like that. So Ms. Cosner teaches you about library. Say that word, please. Library. And finally, you have classes with Mrs. Carrick. Mrs. Carrick is our school counselor. And our school counselor teaches us lessons about how to get along with our friends and how to be a good friend. So she teaches about bullying. She teaches about making good choices as a student. She teaches us about taking care of ourselves emotionally in our hearts and in our heads. And that's kind of a tough word. So can you say that, please? Counselor. Counselor. And that's Mrs. Carrick. So we have all of those classes that we need to know when we have them. And usually my students have a blue folder that has their schedule in it. I'm not sure if your class does, but usually they do. And this is used to help us know what we need each day of the week. So we know, do we need our shoes? Do we need our library book? Do we need to have something for Mr. Sherman? Are you doing something extra fun in music class? So all of those things are incredibly important. I'm going to pause a second and we're going to flip the screen so that we can see the schedule and a pretend schedule so we can talk about it.